All right. How's it going, everybody? So we are in the mix. Storms are starting to form, and we'll take and move this over here a little bit. There is already a tornado warning for Arnett, Oklahoma. Storms are coming across, and we're going to have to probably switch radars here and see what we got. But yeah. So Arnett is under the gun right now. If you haven't taken your tornado precautions, do so now. The storm is just to your west. And let's look at the velocities and see what we're looking at here. Okay, let's look at velocities. So yeah, pretty bright velocities there on this storm. And we're going to take a check to see if there's any debris here. Not seeing any, so that's a good thing. But this is rapidly approaching Arnett, Oklahoma. And so we got another supercell that's going to need to be watched as well. It is just to the south of Laverne. Big storms, big storms. This one's down here is starting to make a turn to the right a little bit. But you can see the hook echoes there. And there's also a new mesoscale discussion out for this area. We'll stop this for 1 second. We'll decrease that. And we're going to click this out. So tornado with a 70%. 40% wind probabilities. Hail is 85%. Combined risk of 95. And so peak intensity for tornadoes that are in that little red circle is going to be 140 to 170 miles per hour. Peak wind gusts set 50 to 70. And peak hail sizes anywhere from 2.75 inch to 4.25. Supercell threat is increasing. Splitting supercells are evolving across the northeastern Texas panhandle, and these storms are gradually impinging on richer boundary layer moisture. And so, yes. Something that needs to be watched. For sure. Vance, let's see Vance, where's Vance at? Let's get that box off of there. So Vance is probably going to be the better radar. And we're going to put this over in velocities real fast. So here's the hook as it's coming around. We can look up through the atmospheres and see what it is seeing. So yeah, the rotation is going up through the column of the storm. So the one to the north there by Laverne is definitely taking on supercell characteristics. You can kind of see how this is starting to form here on the southern edges of that as well. Still not seeing any dropout from the correlation coefficient, so that's a good thing. And so, yes. I would expect for these storms to take and start to right turn. Models have been pinpointing that for a while, and so stating that these were going to take and make a right turn, and they would be moving over toward. Let me get the name of the towns right here: Visay, Sharon, Camargo, Mutual, in that area as well, if this tornado warning continues on. We're going to look at something else as well. We're going to look at what they call vertically integrated liquid, or the hail cores. Massive hail cores on these. That bright purple means business. So we can take and click on that and see what it says. 2.75 inch diameter observed. So that is large hail. Large, and 60 mile per hour winds. So a hailstone being propelled at 60 miles per hour will not end up well. Look at our velocities again. Velocities are increasing there. Anytime that you get these blended reds and greens, that means that we have rotation. And so this is not a typical supercell look right now. That doesn't mean that it can't change. We'll get that off the screen for right now. And we're going to take and see there's a lot of chasers out there. Lots and lots of chasers. And we can see if there's anybody that's live while we're doing that. And let's see here. Who do we got? Looks like a pretty decent inflow. Band on it. That would be right here. Hopefully, let's get off of this guy real quick and let's see. Nobody's there. No tornado yet, but looks like it's got some scud coming in. This is coming from Nick Busby. Looks to be high base right now, but you can see this scud forming here. And basically what that means is that the low pressure is centralizing. You can kind of see this little collar developing right here as well. And so that's where your tornado is going to form. Tilted updraft, wall cloud. What's up, J.D. Williams? So if this turns off to the east, this is going to come over towards you guys. There's two storms, obviously. We're going to leave this up to see if this thing makes a tornado. And it looks like it's getting awfully close to doing it. Awfully close to doing it. Same place that I was at yesterday. Completely different environment today. Whoa, that looks mean. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Looks like we lost the live stream. There we go. Well, that thing is spinning like crazy. You can see it on the live stream. And I would pretty much say that that is really close to a funnel cloud. If that has not been reported as one already, I imagine it probably has been. But man, is that thing spinning like crazy. If it doesn't produce, it will probably cycle another time or so before it actually gets its act together and then plants a tornado. And let's hope that it is not anywhere close to the town of Arnett. So, because this is going to be just to the west of there, southwest of there. But it is trying. Another funnel cloud. Can't see if there's debris. That plants one is going to be a big one. There it is. Hi, Connie. So this is out where we were at yesterday. And so obviously I'm not out chasing. But I wanted to take and do an update of the weather as it was happening. And so I don't believe that that was actually on the ground. Didn't see any debris. Maybe it was, I just couldn't see it through the video. But sorry about the chomp on the ice. But all things conducive, this is more than likely going to be probably a cyclic supercell as well. So we'll get off of this guy's stream here. But this is the storm that just produced that. And that is coming up on Arnett. And I'm going to put it in motion here real fast. That is a splitting supercell. So this one's shooting off to the north. Going to be a big hail producer. And this one is the tornadic one, and as you can tell, it's kind of turning to the right. So if it continues to produce and continues to strengthen, then Sharon, Visay, Mutual, even maybe Camargo are all going to be under the gun. And I know that there's farming residences out here, but yeah. And so there's a couple other folks that we can take and pull from here real quick. Brett Adair for sure. Let's see, Brett's already on the move, so he is not. All those little red dots are chasers. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. They have got it covered. It ain't getting away from them. But definitely the people in Arnett. Let's take a look at velocities real quick. And so this is basically where your tornado is going to be right here. We'll get him centered down here. And we also need to keep an eye out to see. There's another one that's up near Dodge City that's going on. All in that tornado watch area. And so Buckland, Kansas, same for you. And to be honest with you, the environment is extremely conducive of supercells, and they can potentially fire all the way down the line. You got some more stuff going on down here by McGargle, Texas, near Throckmorton. Got a tornado warning down here as well. Albany. And so Graham, Newcastle, Throckmorton, down in Texas. But this is where we need to be, and I don't know what happened there. That's pretty ugly. But Vance is definitely going to be the radar to pull from. And we're getting another storm developing in between the two. Jason Cooley, friend of mine. Get off of his stream. He just lost it. We'll go back over here to Nick Busby. There's a good picture of the wall cloud. Looks like it may be trying to form again. And looks like that it's dropping big hail. Really big hail. Golf balls, to be honest. So that is the one. Let's kind of shrink this back here. We're going to put that in motion. And that storm is turning to the right. So let's see what towns are going to be affected here. It is going to be Sharon, Vici, Mutual, perhaps even Sealing, Moreland, Woodward, but it is turning to the right. So interestingly enough, it looks like that the storm is maybe trying to collapse some, shrinking in size. You notice this reflectivity isn't as strong as it was a few scans earlier. Looks like they are going to continue the tornado warning, and it is going to be more toward Sharon and Mutual. And I will tell you this. Let me see. We can look at satellite here real fast. There's the storm from satellite. This is called a venting top. In order for a storm to live and breathe, it has to vent. If it can't do it, it can't stay alive. And so this is a venting top. It's got overshooting tops on it. You see that bubbling going on all of these? That means that these things are living and breathing and doing well. Let's see what we got here. I can't pull anything else up right now. That one's timed out for some reason. Not necessarily need that one. There's the what the models were pointing out, but don't need it now because this thing is doing its thing. But you notice that it has kind of a northeasterly track, and then whenever it tightens up, it'll start to turn to the right. And that's exactly what it's doing. But I'm looking at it, and it is really shrinking in size. It may be on the down low. That could be good. Obviously, these are populated areas, and so it is basically the core itself is right over Arnett, and then you have the hook back here. Let's look at the velocities again and see what they're doing. So velocities are still pretty tight. Doesn't appear that there's any dropout on the correlation coefficients, which means that there's debris that's going up into the upper atmosphere. And so let's take and see if we can pull up somebody's stream here again. I hate it when that happens. So as you can tell, it's kind of shrinking in size. Kind of a neat looking little supercell. Updraft. Kind of a rotating collar around it. But does not look nearly as good as it did earlier. Still got a little bit of a wall cloud right here. Maybe we can try to get a different view of it. I'm going to try and pull from Oklahoma City radar and see what it looks like. But boy, I tell you, it's a long ways from Amarillo. It's not very far from Vance Air Force Base's radar site up by Nescatunga. And so let's see what Nick's got. He is on a dirt road. There you go. So don't ever think there isn't a lot of action going on there. Because there is. Oh, look at that. Getting another little tornado. It ain't over till it's over, people. Look at that. Wow, look at that. Wow. That is a big tornado. That is no joke, big tornado. It does not have a fully condensated cone on it. However, there is debris being lofted up, so it is definitely on the ground. There goes the condensation cone now. Wow, look at that. That is full-blown tornado right there. Boy, look at the base of that. Brett will turn to the right here in just a second and you'll be able to see it. Wow. So I'm going to show you guys something real fast. I'm going to have to close out his stream. I know you probably want to take and watch that, okay? But I want to show you something. Anytime that you have a tornado like that, it's producing a tornado, you can watch, and it should start to pick up a debris cloud on this correlation coefficient. And so it'll start to show some drop out here. But there's where your tornado is. Right there is where it lives. Right there where that arrow is. We'll go back to Brett now. if I can move this. So bad part about it is Arnett is right here, and the tornado's right here, and so it is going to come really close to the town. Not good, not good at all. So see if we can get somebody else's live stream here. Tracer convergence. We'll let him reposition, and we will go back to that. But the only game in town, people, except for the one that's up, and that's already up into Kansas. we're going to put this in play and see what direction it is actually moving. So, like I said, it's kind of moving off to the east and the northeast, but at the same time, it's moving more east than it is moving. Uh, we'll see what the current speed is. Okay, we got that part. There is a tornado. Ooh. Lots of tornado warnings up in Kansas right now. Tornado and occlusion stayed there. And that one is done. And I would imagine that it will recirculate. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and close the stream down, guys. And we're going to see